Hello and welcome to my personal philosophy assignment. My name is Marina Sousa, and today I will be taking you through the artifact I have designed, which will describe the social studies teacher I aspire to be. Throughout the video, there will be images and text for your enjoyment that might help to bring my aspirations to life. After taking a moment to consider my grade 4 physical classroom setup, which puts a focus on social studies, I determined 6 key aspects I would like to include. Inexpensive maps and globes. In many classrooms, the traditional roll-down maps of the 20th century have been replaced by ceiling-mounted projectors and Google Earth bookmarks in teachers' classroom computers. However, neither roll-down maps or projectors are easily accessible to young children. Children are fascinated with maps because of the real-world connections. They want to find the street where they live or the streets where the school is on, and the internet gives teachers easy access to geographic information systems and visual representations of data relevant to classroom investigations. Timelines. The space where the walls meet the ceiling is often an unused space that lends itself to being decorated with timelines. Co-constructing a timeline, rather than simply purchasing one, can foster cross-curricular connections and make history a part of everyday conversations. Having timelines always on display provides a scaffolding for students' sense of time by giving them a concrete frame of reference. Comparing illustrations in books as they are reading with pictures on their timeline can help them to determine the historical context of these stories, and perhaps more importantly, make "when did this happen" a question they may ask when reading. Establishing interest areas. Single tables or cabinets provide a space for interactive displays that focus on current events or cross-curricular connections. Motivating children is easy when they perceive a genuine purpose for their activities, such as decorating their own classroom. Students construct displays have their added power of being interesting to other students. When such displays have meaningful content, they are also vehicles for learning. Expanding outside the walls. By discussing the responsibilities of using shared spaces, students can think about creative and responsible uses of public spaces such as parks in their wider community. And finally, community of learners. Philosopher John Dewey argued that as public schools were one of the few places where people from all walks of life meet, they were ideal places for children to practice the skills of participatory democracy. So what does the classroom tell young students about who they are and where they are? What is the mood established by the physical objects in and laid out throughout the classroom, and how does the classroom reflect and invite students to participate? Beyond being educative, building a physical classroom environment is exciting when it reflects and expands upon students' understanding of themselves and the world. It makes them feel a part of their classroom community and evolves throughout the year. Within my classroom, it is very important to me that inquiry-based learning be the focus. Through inquiry-based learning, students are given opportunities to address the questions by gathering and organizing evidence, data, and information from a variety of sources, and analyze that evidence, data, and information while considering multiple interpretations and perspectives. Students then form opinions, make judgments, and draw their own conclusions based on evidence, data, and information. And finally, they communicate their insights, learning, and potential action plans. The social studies skills I will specifically emphasize within my classroom align with the Citizenship Education Framework and the Ontario Curriculum Expectations. I want my students to be able to determine the significance and importance of something, an issue, an event, development, person, place, process, or interaction. Then these students come to understand that significance often depends on the context or situation. Cause and consequence. This concept requires students to determine the factors that affect or lead to something, as well as its impact or effect. Students study the cause and consequence of various types of events, situations, and interactions in both natural environments and human society. Continuity and change require students to determine what has stayed the same and what has changed over a period of time. Continuity and change can be studied with reference in many aspects of life: political policies, economic practices, relationships with others and the environment, social values, and so on. Let's make judgments about continuity and change by making comparisons between some point in the past and the present, or 2 points in the past. Patterns and trends require students to study characteristics that are similar and that repeat themselves in a natural or human environment, and characteristics or traits that exhibit or consistent tendencies in a particular setting or over a period of time. The characteristics may be spatial, social, economic, physical, or environmental. Students discover patterns by making connections between characteristics, discover through trends by making connections between those characteristics over time. Interrelationships is a huge part of social study which allows students to explore connections within and between natural and or human settings, including how they adapt to and improve in one another. And finally, I want my students to take perspective. It is very important that young children understand concept and references in the ways in which different individuals or groups view something. Students learn that different groups have different perspectives, which depend on factors such as beliefs, social position, and geographic location, among others. Students also learn the importance of analyzing sources to determine those perspectives they convey and gathering sources that reflect multiple perspectives. To teach social studies most effectively, I will teach students something and make them curious. Inquiry starts with some knowledge and curiosity, and I can use stories to begin giving information to spark interest. I don't want to start with an overview of the textbook. Textbooks or traditional text offer overviews of information but often lack the hook or the spark for students' curiosity. Furthermore, it's sometimes more effective if students don't know too much information before they start. Information that they discover will be remembered much longer than information that is given to them. I want to let students ask questions. Even if I pose the larger topic or question, it's important for students to be able to pursue these questions on their own. Highlight and honor students' questions is also very important. My goal is inquiry, and it's important to honor these questions. Inquiry is about student discovery rather than teacher knowledge. Facilitate students' research. In inquiry, the role of the teacher becomes a facilitator. The teacher is in between content and knowledge, but the student must make the connection. As the teacher, I want to offer additional resources, model how to use sources, and contribute information and redirect, but I don't want to give simple answers. I want to celebrate my students' new knowledge. An important part of inquiry is peer-to-peer interaction. Students with similar questions work together, while students who aren't working together share their discoveries with each other. I want my students to understand the difference between important or interesting. From personal experience, sometimes I have noticed what is most important according to standards or curriculum is not what students view as interesting. I will strive to encourage students' interests first. And I want to give students a voice in their own learning. Students show interest, engagement, and persistence with topics of their choosing. Students are not only aware of the events happening around the world, they are used to satisfying their own curiosity through the internet. We have an unprecedented opportunity to bring that kind of energy and learning into the classroom.